Princess Leonor didn't say a single dramatic word at the ceremony yesterday, but honestly, I think that silence told Spain everything. Because while cameras were zooming in on the uniforms, the royal protocol, the polished smiles, there was one tiny moment almost nobody is talking about. Leonor paused before greeting the veterans. Not long, maybe 2 seconds, but she looked directly at them first, not at the press line, not at the officials, not at the photographers hunting for the perfect royal frame. And I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but that's the exact moment I thought. She's not acting like a princess anymore. She's acting like a future queen. Intro. The weird thing about royal families in 2026 is that audiences don't really care about crowns anymore. They care about authenticity, presence, pressure. They want to know who can actually carry the weight when the cameras stop rolling. That's why people are comparing Princess Leonor to figures like Kate Middleton or even Mr. Beast in completely different industries. Sounds crazy at first, right? But think about it. The old royal strategy was image. The 2026 strategy is emotional connection. And Leonor might be the first royal of her generation who truly understands that. Not through speeches, not through PR, but through controlled pressure. And yesterday, I genuinely think Spain saw it too. If you're new to Leonor's story, subscribe, I post every day. Because this isn't just another royal update. This is one of those moments people are going to look back on years from now and say, yeah, that was the day everything changed. Section 1. The moment felt different. Here's what fascinated me. Normally, royal appearances are predictable. You already know the headlines before the event even begins. The media packages everything neatly. Princess smiles. Crowd cheers. Future queen impresses. Done. But this felt different because Leonor looked unusually calm under pressure. And calm is dangerous in monarchy politics. People underestimate that. A nervous royal can still be protected by the institution. A calm royal starts becoming bigger than the institution. And I think that's exactly why some palace insiders reportedly feel both proud and slightly uncomfortable right now. Because Leonor is entering that phase where the public stops seeing her as the daughter of King Felipe VI and starts imagining her independently. That transition is powerful, but it's also risky. You know what this reminded me of a little bit? Early coverage of Prince William after military appearances years ago. Suddenly people weren't discussing whether he looked royal enough. They were discussing leadership. That's a completely different conversation. And Leonor is now entering it. Section 2. Why the military training changed everything. Now let me say something controversial. I think the military training was the smartest move the Spanish monarchy has made in years. Not because it makes Leonor look tougher. Because it makes her look believable. That's the key difference. In 2026, audiences can smell staged branding immediately. Especially younger viewers online. If something feels overly polished, people disconnect instantly. But military environments are hard to fake. Exhaustion is real. Discipline is real. Hierarchy is real. So when Leonor stands in uniform now, people don't just see royalty. They see effort. And effort creates respect. Honestly, this is where the Spanish monarchy quietly outplayed a lot of European royal houses. While King Charles III and the British royals are constantly balancing media storms, image wars, and endless tabloid cycles, Spain shifted Leonor into something more strategic. Preparation. That changes perception completely. And I think Leonor herself understands the assignment better than people realize. Because watch carefully during these appearances, she rarely overperforms emotionally. That restraint matters. She doesn't try too hard to look relatable. She doesn't force viral moments. She doesn't chase attention. Ironically, that's exactly why attention keeps finding her. Section 3. The look that started the conversation. Now here's the part nobody says out loud. The reason this latest appearance exploded online wasn't just the uniform or the ceremony. It was the expression. Leonor looked focused, almost heavy, not sad, not cold, just aware. And maybe I'm overanalyzing, tell me if you think I am. But I think we witnessed the first moment where the responsibility actually became visible on her face. That changes how audiences emotionally connect to a royal figure. Because suddenly she stops feeling like a protected princess inside palace walls. She starts looking like someone carrying expectations. Huge difference. And honestly, that's when monarchies survive, when people emotionally project stability onto one person. That's what happened with Queen Elizabeth II for decades. People trusted the image of steadiness. Now obviously Leonor is still very young. Nobody's saying she's already there. But I do think Spain just saw the first glimpse of what Queen Leonor could actually feel like. Not theoretically, emotionally. And emotional perception is everything now. Section 4. Why this matters more than the media admits. Here's my hot take. I don't think this moment was really about royal tradition at all. I think it was about succession anxiety. Europe is changing fast. Institutions are changing fast. Public trust is fragile everywhere. So when audiences see a young heir who appears disciplined, composed, and prepared, they react strongly because subconsciously they're asking, can this person hold everything together later? That's the real question underneath all these headlines. And Leonor is starting to answer it without directly saying anything. That's the part one find impressive. A lot of public figures in 2026 overshare constantly. Every emotion becomes content. Every moment becomes branding. Leonor does almost the opposite. And weirdly, that mystery is becoming her advantage. It's similar to why people became obsessed with Kate Middleton during difficult public periods. Silence creates projection. People fill in the blanks themselves. Leonor is beginning to generate that same effect. Section 5. The hidden cost of this transformation. But there's another side to this nobody talks about enough. The stronger Leonor looks publicly, the less normal her private life becomes. That's the trade-off. And honestly, I think that's the hidden sadness inside all of this. Because every successful appearance raises expectations again. People now expect maturity, discipline, perfect posture, perfect decisions, perfect symbolism. Imagine carrying that at her age. That pressure changes people, and this is where I actually think viewers underestimate Queen Letitia's role completely. A lot of criticism around Letizia focuses on strictness or control. But if your daughter is preparing to become one of the most watched women in Europe, maybe some of that protection suddenly makes more sense. Not all of it, but some of it, because once the public emotionally crowns someone in their minds, there's no going backward. Section 6. The future started yesterday. And this is why I believe yesterday mattered more than people realize. Not because Leonor gave a historic speech. Not because there was some shocking palace announcement. Actually, the opposite. Nothing dramatic happened, and yet somehow the atmosphere changed anyway. That's rare. Usually royals need scandals, weddings, controversies, or massive events to dominate attention. Leonor created conversation simply by looking prepared. That's influence. Quiet influence. And in some ways, that's even more powerful. I think Spain saw a future queen yesterday. Not a future celebrity. Not an influencer in royal clothing. Not a carefully scripted princess. A queen, or at least, the first real version of one. Outro. And maybe that's the strangest part of this whole story. The moment that convinced people Leonor might truly be ready to rule, wasn't loud at all. It was controlled, measured, almost silent, but sometimes history looks exactly like that. Not fireworks, not headlines, just one person standing differently than before, and millions of people feeling it at the same time. And I keep thinking about that pause before she greeted the veterans. 2 seconds. That's all it was. But in monarchy terms, sometimes 2 seconds is enough to change how the world sees you forever.